It's a big moment with a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.
Good evening, folks. We are here at Phelps Field for the first night of district play. The number 3 rated Westside Warriors and the 2-2 Grand Island Islanders. My name is Jaden Taylor. Alongside me, as always, is Jernstrom. It's a little chilly. We're getting into fall weather. It's a beautiful night for football.
It's 68 degrees right now, kind of cloudy skies, but in the forecast, no precipitation for tonight. The temperature is going to drop down to about 59 degrees by about 9:30. So it's a chilly fall night. We're ready for some football here at the end of September.
It's going to be a fun night on both sides. Westside trying to continue their unbeaten streak. Grand Island coming off a walk-off winner up against Fremont, trying to continue their winning ways. So we're here on the KB pre-game show. So looking last week at this Westside win up against Papio South, a really big win for these Warriors. So a lot of questions offensively if their team was going to be able to deal with injuries. They came out with a big win and proved a lot of doubters wrong.
They put a lot of points on the board last week. A lot of that had to do with the rushing game for Westside. They rolled up some big yardage. That offensive line did a terrific job. And I'll tell you what, in that game, Dominic Rezac had a big game, over 308 yards, a school record, and that had a lot to do with it. But the depth on the team really showed in that game, too. Defense played really well, returned an interception for a touchdown in that game. So Westside, it was a statement win. They still remain number 3 in the polls, but they really showed a lot of people how big an offense they could have.
And a big piece of that offense was Dominic Rezac. What a game for him. 4 touchdowns, 308 yards on 26 carries, a school record.
Yeah, he broke the old record, which was set back in 2007 by Collins Okafor, who went on to play for the University of Nebraska. Just a tremendous performance by Dom. I'll tell you what, 308 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. But Jaden, in that game, he had a lot of runs that were, outside 40 yards, 2 touchdowns. I remember he scored in the first quarter and had a 55-yard touchdown run. That kind of set the tone for the game. And hopefully they can get another game from him like that. And I know the Air Force Academy was thrilled with that, the way he performed.
I mean, he's continually showed how good of a runner and how aggressive of a runner that he is. Of course, beating that record back in 2007 by 1 yard up against Collins Okafor. But what a night for him. But really, looking at the team in general, Rezac really carried that offense throughout that night. I mean, 330 total rushing yards for this entire team in Westside. 308 of those, of course, by Dominic Rezac. The passing game, although wasn't as stellar, did not need to be.
It didn't need to be because the running game was working so well, and they got that big lead and wanted to run some time off the clock, and no better way to do that than just keep the ball on the ground and run that clock out, and that's what they tried to do in the third and fourth quarter. Just an excellent ground game, and it really showed how good that offensive line is and how they developed.
We'll get more into the offensive line here in a little bit here on the KB pregame show. They have a lot to look forward to in this game against Grand Island. But for the ratings for the Omaha World Herald, we thought Westside might be able to jump up to the 2 spot, especially with the loss that Bellevue West went through and how bad that was at the 1 spot. However, Stu Pospisil over the World Herald is keeping Westside at number 3.
I'm not surprised. Bellevue West is a very good team, and Westside, even though they had a strong performance, it really doesn't matter down the road, second or third. You'll probably, if the route and the road carries on, you'll meet in the semifinals. It really doesn't matter who's second or third. But when you look at that top 10, I think you got to look at Creighton Prep, the way that they have performed. That has been impressive ever since that first loss to Westside over at Burke Stadium. Creighton Prep is one of the most improved teams in the Metro.
Yeah, with Prep as well. I mean, talking about after that first loss, they really struggled offensively to get anything going. Their last few games, they have entirely switched the bed on that one, beating Papio by 30-3, then taking on Bellevue West and keeping that within one score for 3/4 of that game. And then right after that, being able to blow out Lincoln Southeast in a great win there. So now we're finally into district play. First time last season, we really weren't able to see much district setup like we're usually able to see. But Westside's district is something to talk about here, especially when you want to talk about wild card points down the road. They have Grand Island here tonight, who's 2-2. They play Omaha North next week at Omaha North. You guys can watch that in the Aaron Harding YouTube channel. Do a great job over there. Millard North's 0-4 going into this week. Norfolk's 1-3 the week after that. Then Bryan and Benson are 0-4 and 3-1. And overall, the team is 4-12. The second half teams that Westside is going up against is 4-12. And the district standings, looking at that currently, Westside District 6 has the lowest overall record of any of the 6 Class A teams.
Well, it really goes to show you what the district is like. Westside out in front with a 4-0 record, then Benson right behind with a 3-1 record. And Jaden, every week's a contest. You just can't overlook anybody in high school football. If you don't come prepared, you can get knocked off anytime, any week. I remember a long time ago, South beat Creighton Prep with only 25 players, so it can happen anytime.
And a big thing to look at as well for this weekend is how many Thursday night likes games we've been having these last 2 weeks. I mean, Millard South, Bell West. You had Lincoln Southeast up against Creighton Prep, and we're seeing Prep as well as Southeast last night. Prep able to just squeak by Millard West in their homecoming game for Millard West. Chamar Brown, goodness gracious, what a night. 4 touchdowns and the game-winning touchdown with just over a minute left to go. Lincoln East shows why they're the better team in Lincoln. Not a lot of people saw that going into this weekend, but Noah Walters, continuing to find himself in the pocket, takes down Lincoln Southeast 47-10. They are in the driver's seat to be the top team from Lincoln going into the state playoffs. Then Omaha Burke, another homecoming spoiler up against Omaha Central. They win 32-6. A great win for them. We'll take a quick break here on the KB pregame show. Once we come back, we'll get more into this matchup between the Islanders and the Warriors. On the KB pregame show, Jaden Taylor along with Rosh Jernstrom. A great matchup here tonight. The Warriors 4-0 on the season, going up against the 2-2 Grand Island Islanders. So looking at Grand Island coming into this week, this team has dealt with some back and forth setups on who they're going to go up against. They started off the season top 10 after a week 1 loss actually up against Kearney. They then took down by 14 up against a struggling Lincoln Pius team. They lost in a close game with, at that time, number 4 Lincoln Southeast. And then last week, what a nail-biter for the Islanders over the Tigers.
Yeah, they kicked a late field goal there to win it 17-15 over Fremont. Jaden, if you look at this team, they could very well be undefeated. All their games went into the fourth quarter, and they're 2-2, but they could be easily 4-0 this season. They're just really a talented Islander team.
And this team overall really relies on three big guys offensively and defensively. Kighton Fife, if you remember the Fife name, Riker Fife was the backup to Tommy Armstrong back in 2017 for the Nebraska Cornhusker. His little brother Kighton going to come into tonight as the quarterback and the punter here for the Islanders. He leads the team in rushing. He leads the team in passing. It'll be big for him to see tonight. A big out for Grand Island here tonight is going to be Jace Chrisman, one of the leading rushers, part of the running back core. He's a fullback for the team, is also a backup offensive lineman, was also a starting defensive end and a backup center. So a lot of depth being able to be taken away here from the Islanders with that big loss right there. With that as well, defensively, the man's going to have to step up. It's going to be Ben Frenzel.
I'll tell you what, that defense that Grand Island has is very good. They've got a strong tradition on the defensive side, but Fife is the difference maker in the game. He's the key point, the key figure for this Grand Island team. He ranks 10th in the state of Nebraska in Class A in total offense. He can run the ball and pass it. He's the guy that makes things happen. That's who the Westside defense has to stop tonight.
We've seen a big thing for these Islanders. When they're able to find their pass game, they really find it, and that's when they win games. Up against Lincoln Southeast 2 weeks ago, they had under 50 yards of passing game. It was a really big struggle for them. Then going up against Fremont, over 150, they felt really comfortable. That's where they were able to pull out that big win. So looking at these two teams, statistically, from the overall perspective, the passing yards, surprisingly, is still in favor for the Warriors. However, rushing is back to the side of Grand Island.
Yeah, they have a good running attack, and that's mostly from Fife. He's the guy that scrambles. That's where most of their yards come from, is the quarterback. They don't exactly have a strong running game with the running backs, but it's the quarterback who makes things happen. That's why they average 152 yards rushing per game.
You're going to see a lot of options. You're going to see a lot of pitch outs to a lot of the guys that they have set up. You're going to bunch up. Grand Island is here tonight. It'll be a big piece for them. But looking at Westside defensively, that's going to be a big thing to see here tonight. How can the secondary step up if Grand Island and Kighton 5 are able to find their passing game? 246 yards passing game allowed per game. They're only 25 of 50 on third down stops in these past 3 weeks, and 54 for 89 is their defensively allowed up against some really good quarterbacks these last 3 weeks.
Yeah, when they played Omaha North early in the season, they burned them for a lot of yards, and especially in the end zone. They got some touchdown passes, and that is going to be something to watch on Westside's defense. How they defend against the quarterback. Are they going to spy him during the game, or are they going to let him, try to, pass the ball in the game? Look for Westside to make that decision in this game, whether they let him run or whether they let him pass.
Looking to stop Fife and keep him control is the Westside defensive line. Both the lines are going to be a big piece of that we're going to talk about here tonight for these two teams, but the defensive line specifically are continuing to show out here in these last few weeks up against some struggling offensive linemen they've been able to go up against. Ryan Zadska, the 2-year starter at nose tackle. Cole Haberman out at the defensive end, as well as Sean Williams, his first season being able to be his starter. All three of these guys, it's their first season being starters at the defensive line, especially after losing guys like Cade Haberman and Will Hurtado and TJ Ingram last season.
That was the big question mark coming into the season. How would Westside be in the trenches, losing all those seniors to graduation? Would they still be that tough up front? But I think they're developing here as the season goes on. We're going into the 5th game. They're really starting to show some power there in the middle.
And overall for these two teams, we're really going to see how can these teams beat at the line. As you see there, Westside only allowed 117 rushing yards per game. And this defensive line and this linebacking core that has really stepped up has been a big reason for it. Look overall at these two teams with the KB pregame show. I mean, it's going to be a big game tonight of who can win at the line and who can continuously be able to make those big drives and make those big opportunities when they need them.
Yeah, Westside really has to get off to a good start again like they did last week. They scored on their second possession of the game, a 55-yard touchdown run. When you get out to the lead, you kind of set the tone, and you can try some different things. When you've got that lead, maybe some trick plays and some passing plays that you wouldn't normally use in a close game. So it's always important to get out to a good start.
And looking here, the passing attack is going to be something we're going to see a lot for Westside here tonight. That's what we're going to see here in tonight's industrial painting, keys to the game here for the Warriors.
Okay. Well, the keys for the Warriors in this game will establish the ground game early, just as I talked about with Dominic Rezac. That's what they did last week. Develop play action in the passing game, and Colby Brown is a big benefit of that if he can, get the ball to his receivers in that game. And the secondary needs to step up big time in this game.
So for Grand Island, it's going to be really big to talk about executing both offensively and defensively. How can they really be a team that is able to shut down these Warriors as much as possible? The big thing for them, give 5 time in the pocket. If he's able to have time to be able to make decisions, to be able to run when he needs to, it's going to be a big thing for these Islanders here tonight. Be able to see some read option, be able to make those big plays when he needs to and get himself open space. Big thing as well, being able to get long drives and get this Westside defense on their heels and tired throughout the night is going to be a big thing for the Islanders as well. If they're able to tire out this defense, they're more likely to take more time off the clock, keep this Westside offense and Dominic Rezac off the field, and continue to keep this game close throughout. Big thing as well, they have to find defensive stops, especially on third down. Westside is a really good third down team, but they don't often even get to it because they're consistently being able to get on first and second down. If Grand Island can make these stops and consistently make stops at the line, it's going to be really big for them.
Yeah, you almost have to have a spy on 5 today because he is the one that really makes this offense go, and you can't allow him to come up with the big play in the game. That's how he gets so many rushing yards, is those big plays, and he keeps that offense on the field.
So we're going to take a quick break here on the KB pregame show. When we come back, we're just minutes away from kickoff here at Phelps Field. back here for the final pieces of the KB pregame show here on WTV Live. Westside and Grand Island. We're just under 5 minutes away. But what's coming into this game specifically for these two teams?
Well, I think the ground game, who can establish it early, is probably the biggest factor. Last week, Westside really set the tone by jumping out to that big lead, and you get a 55-yard touchdown run. That kind of sets the tone, and it ended up to be a record-breaking night for Dominic Rezac. If you can do that run, they do both very well. And you kind of have to minimize what they can do on offense, make them one-dimensional, whether they can pass or whether they can run. You got to pick your poison one way or the other.
Some updates around Class A coming here tonight as Grand Island comes out onto the field. Miller North, Gretna is up currently 35-0 on their opponent, as you'll see Westside come out here in a second. The Warriors trying to continue a now 17-game winning streak. If they're able to win tonight, it'll be a big game for them.
Yeah, you look at that win streak. That's a real test. They dominated most of their opponents with the exception of probably Millard South, Elkhorn South at the end of the season, but they virtually dominated every game they were in. But just to maintain that, they came off that really close game against Papillion La Vista and bounced back last week. Westside football team to come out.
Gretna's up 56-0.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. May God be with you all.
The Warriors take the field, and we're seconds away from kickoff here at Phelps Field. Once again, joining you, Jaden Taylor alongside Rosh Jernstrom. The Warriors looking to continue their won the coin flip, and they'll defer to the second half. Grand Island will have two back deep. Hernandez is the one to the near sideline. On the far sideline will be Will Knuth, and Tristan Alvano will boot it away for the Warriors.
Also here at Westside, and we'll see how he does tonight. He's got a slight wind, about 8 miles per hour, and it's really a cool night, just holding about 70 degrees. It's going to get down to about 59 degrees later tonight when this game should end around 9:30. So it's a typical fall.
In Nebraska, and cannot wait till we get to some cold games later on in late October and early November.
You can't wait. Why do you want that so much?
Snow games are where it's at. It's where it's at. Tristan Alvano will boot it away. Two back deep for the Islanders. And this one is underway. Line drive kick, and will go into the end zone for a touchback.
Another strong kick by Tristan Alvano. He's got such a strong leg. Really helps you out when you put your kickoffs in the end zone and no return. And they'll start it out at the 20-yard line. And we get to see Fife, the quarterback for Grand Island, just to see how good he really is. He's just had a tremendous year so far, and we'll see him right here on this series.
Fife going to be the main one to see quarterback-wise for the Islanders. But talking a little bit as well, could see a little bit of Cohen Evans in some option runs. Fife will step back, looking over to the outer sideline with a throw, and it'll go into the turf for an incomplete pass, and that'll make it a 2nd and 10.
And you might remember the name Tommy Armstrong got injured, and this is his younger brother, number 15, in the shotgun.
2nd and 10 here, little option route out to the outside, flips it over to Aiden McDermott, and he'll gain about 3.5.
Good pitch out there. Westside only allowed 3 yards on that play, so they're in a good situation. This is what you want, 3rd down and 7. Fife in the shotgun again. He's got receivers, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. He's looking downfield, and it's a good catch out near the 35-yard line for a 1st down.
Brandon Fox able to make the play right past the far hash mark, and the Islanders are starting to find business in the first 3rd down conversion of the day.
And that was a hot combination last week. Those two teamed up 9 times against Fremont for 114 yards. Look for that to continue tonight.
3 out wide to the right, empty backfield, 4-5. He finds an open hole, trying to get through. He'll gain a 1st down, squeezed himself through a couple Westside linebackers and able to move the chains.
And that's why Fife is such a good runner. He finds those openings over the right side. Good blocking up front. 13-yard gain for the Islanders.
Having some issues with our clock. Currently 10:56 left to go here in this first half. Empty backfield once again for Fife. Rolling out to the left, across the middle, and Fox once again is able to make the play. Isaac Richard on the tackle.
You know, one of the big concerns at the start of the season was that back. He can do it both, running the ball and passing the ball, and you've seen tonight he can throw it.
2 out wide to the far sideline, 5 with McDermott to the left of him. He's going to take it himself over to the middle, and it'll be close, but it looks like it'll move the chains for the Islanders.
Yeah, all he needed was just about a couple yards. He got it. They're moving the chains downfield, and it's a 1st down at the 42-yard line for the Islanders. They're moving the ball here early in the game.
10-12 and counting here in the first quarter. Islanders off to a hot start here and already within Westside territory. Option set here, going to the outside, a little pitch over to McDermott, try to cut back into the inside, and we'll gain about 2. Check that, Ariel Hernandez.
Westside covered that option really well. Fife held that ball for as long as he could on that, but it allowed Westside to really pursue there and get the tackle, and only a gain of out of the field for Grand Island. Fife in the shotgun. He's got 1 running back in the backfield. He's looking down to the far sidelines over the middle, and it's incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Islanders. A big play here for the Westside defense to try to stop this drive by the Islanders. And it looks like they're bringing in another receiver. Grand Island will spread it out. They'll have 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They need 8 yards for the 1st down. Looking long pass along the near side. Almost a good catch by Grand Island. Falls incomplete. Looks like they'll punt it away here. Try to put the Warriors deep in their own territory. The punter will be on the 50-yard line. Here's a snap. Going to the corner. And they'll try to put it inside the 10-yard line. And it's a great punt all the way down to the 4-yard line. And that's where the Warriors will start. Their opening possession of the first quarter will be from the 4-yard line. Great punt by Grand Island. They've got the Warriors in a hole. Now last week, Westside had a lot of success early in the game running the ball. They'll try to set the tone tonight with that, with Dominic Rezac coming off that record-setting game against Papio South, where he ran for 308 yards. And Westside will have 1 receiver to the near side, 3 to the far side, so they're trying to spread it out. 1 running back. And it was Rezac up the middle just for a couple yards.
We'll see how that running game can continue to do here for the Warriors. Just over 9 minutes left to go here in this first quarter, and Westside back deep. Maybe see, like we talked earlier in this pregame show, how can this setup, maybe see some play action pass as the Warriors have 4 out wide. I formation once again. Under center is Colby Brown. And looks like a false start on the offensive line.
You just don't want to make a mistake down here deep in your own territory. A turnover, fumble, interception. That's something you really don't want to do. And deep in your own territory like this, you want to give your punter some breathing room back there in the end zone. Just try to stretch things out here for Westside.
See a 4 wide set, a little more bunched up. 3 out wide to the far sideline, 1 out to the left, and Grant Guyette. Colby Brown and Rezac into the end zone. Looking for a float route out to the outside, and it's broken up. The target was Carter Hogan.
I'll tell you what, Jaden, that was a dangerous pass right there. He was very well covered over there on the far side, and that ball went into a bunch of traffic, and the Warriors were lucky that that was not picked off. So it'll bring up 3rd down here and 11.
Colby Brown looking to the near sideline. Pass is tipped, almost intercepted. A close one there. Brandon Fox beat the route to the outside and barely just got that one go barely past his fingertips.
Well, the punter, Marty Mormino, will go back in the end zone. He doesn't have a lot of room back there with the ball being on the 3-yard line. He's got to watch his feet in the back of the end zone to make sure he doesn't, step back into the out-of-bounds area back there by the goalpost.
Fox back deep for the Islanders. Front footing at about the Westside 41. And Marty Mormino able to get it away. A long punt. He's going to get to Fox at about the 40. He's going to go to the outside. Beats Isaac Richard at the far sideline. Trying to get to the corner. And it'll be pushed out at the 28.
Yeah, that was a low punt, which enabled Grand Island to get a great jump route there. Fox really took it with some speed down near about the 28-yard line. And that's where they'll start here. Their second possession of the game with 8:20 left here in the first quarter. No score between Westside and Grand Island, but the Islanders have great field position at the 29-yard line of Westside.
So the Islanders, once again, second time here tonight in great field position. Last time they had to punt. Pistol set. Fife taking himself on the option. Throws out to the outside. Was intended for number 7, Ariel Hernandez, but goes into the turf.
Good pass rush right there by Westside. They really got to the quarterback, and Fife had to sidearm it over to the near side of the field because he couldn't get around the Westside defender there on that pass rush. But a good job on defense by the Warriors.
Three out wide once again here for Grand Island. Handed off up the middle. Be Aiden McDermott trying to find a hole. He'll get through the defensive line. Will gain about 6. So it brings up a big 3rd down here for the Islanders as there's an injury on the field.
So far we've seen this Grand Island offense mix it up pretty good with their passing and their running. That time they just had a fullback up the middle. But they've got some weapons on this offense, and they're using them and putting Westside in a deep hole here early in the game. And so far, Grand Island has really kind of set the tone here early in the game with their offense.
So we'll take a quick break here as there's an injury timeout. Islanders knocking on the doorstep here at Phelps Field. 3rd and 4 here for the Islanders. Fife trying to continue this squad farther down the field. Motion out to the right. Fife's going to take it himself up the middle. To be close to the line, we'll see where they spot him.
Good play by the defense there. They kept their eye on Fife, make sure he didn't come up with a big play, and that'll bring up 4th down and about maybe 2 yards to get that first down. And they're going to go for it. They do have a kicker, and Braxton Mendez, who kicked the winning field goal last week against Fremont from 19 yards. But they're going to go for it here. A big play coming up for the Westside defense.
Fife, pistol set, going to take himself, design QB run. He's close. Line's pushing him forward. It'll be a first down for the Islanders. What a great push by the offensive line.
Yeah, Fife really took advantage of his teammates. They pushed him over that first down marker, and now it's a first down for Grand Island down at the 18-yard line of Westside.
So first time today either team has been inside the red zone. 12 seconds left in the play clock. We'll see if the Islanders can quick hurry up to the line. 7 seconds. Fife under center. In the pistol set, keeping himself. Going out to the outside, designed to be run once again, and stumbles his way for about 3.5 yards.
Fife really looking for that big opening that he's been able to get in the first 4 games for Grand Island, but Westside doing a good job of containing him, limiting him to maybe 3 or 4 yards on each possession so far in this game.
2nd and 8 here for the Islanders. Once again, dying to knock on the door. Handoff to the outside. Hernandez trying to get to the corner. A little spin move, and will gain about 4 yards, be close to the first down marker. But this Islander rushing attack is getting this defense off balance.
Westside had an opportunity to get him in the backfield, but he spun out, made a nice run of about 7 yards down to about the 9-yard line of Westside, and they're knocking on the door here, trying to score a touchdown on 3rd down.
Getting close to 6 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. A big game for these two teams in district play. Islanders and Warriors both looking for the first win of the season in district play. And it looks like Coach Tomlin wants to take a timeout.
Big opportunity here for Grand Island. Knocking on the door against Westside, 3rd and 1. Trying to take advantage of their field position early in this game and jump out to an early lead on Westside's home field against the number 3 ranked team in the state.
So it'll be a 3rd and 2 feet at the 9-yard line here for the Islanders. The rushing attacks worked really well. Kitan 5 has been able to find space. What does Coach Tomlin go to here on this 3rd and 1?
Well, I think you stay with your quarterback, maybe an option over the right side. They've had a lot of success over the left side. Westside's going to try to stop it up the middle, but they've done a good job just moving the football here. Very few plays have they lost any yardage. They've just been able to move the ball forward every time they've gotten the ball.
It's a big thing we talked about with these Islanders going into this game in our keys to success for this team, talking about them being able to have these long drives to tire out this Westside defense.
And they've got a big offensive line. When you looked at them before the game, I thought, my gosh, they are big. And they're showing it here.
Quick to the line for the Islanders. QB draw here. 5 close to the line. Once again, the line pushes him forward. We'll see where they spot him.
It's going to be really close. No indication that that's a first down. Westside held him pretty good right there. And it is going to be 4th and 1.
RJ Gunnarsson, the one on the tackle, they're able to get the first hit on Fife. And 4th down play of this drive. Another pistol set, 3 out wide for the Islanders. Will they go it to Fife again? Little option out to the left side. Little pitch. They'll give him to McDermott to the corner. And it looks like he got it.
It's going to be close. They have not moved the chains. They may have to measure this one.
We saw a couple fourth down opportunities last week to where we kind of thought they might be able to bring out a note card. I wonder if the refs brought one here tonight.
Number 60 in decline. First down.
So it'll be a hold on the offense. Number 60, Drew Haith on the offensive line. So it'll bring up fourth down. Excuse me. We'll call it, let's see here.
Westside's offense comes out on the field. They take over after stopping them on fourth down.
They did not get it. McDermott able to go out to the corner. We thought he had it here. The hold on the offense will be declined, and Westside will take over at their own 9-yard line. Motion from Hogan out to the inner sideline. They'll hand it off to Rezac, trying to get up the middle, trying to find a hole, and will be taken down by number 23, Alejandro Juarez.
Good job by that Westside offensive line finding a hole for Rezac, and he just looks like he's about ready to bust it into the secondary, and Grand Island was ready to make the tackle.
I formation set here to the strong side. They'll give it off to Rezac once again, and he'll gain about 1.5 yards, and he'll bring up a really big, about 4th and 2.
3rd down and 2 for the Warriors here.
So a gain of a couple, 3rd and 2 from the 17-yard line.
Quick swap here. Grant Guyette comes on, as well as Avery Donnellinger throughout the near sideline. Andrew Nielsen comes off. 3rd and 2. Brown, high snap, trying to look for a second option over to Grant Guyette. He's able to make the play, and Westside able to move the chains.
Yeah, that's a big first down. You try to get that, first completion there, kind of get some continuity there with the passing game, and Colby Brown finds his favorite receiver, Grant Guyette, for a first down, and the Warriors may be on their way here after getting their first down of this game.
Strong side set once again in the I formation. They'll hand it off to Rezac, trying to find some open holes. And once again, they'll get taken down, but not before he gains about 4.
Nice play by the Warriors, that offensive line pushing and pushing that Islander defense. They're winning the trenches here on this series.
Westside quick to the line once again. Little pitch out over to Rezac to the inner sideline, tries to cut back in. They pass a couple defenders and able to gain a first down. Rezac showing once again his aggressiveness.
I'll tell you what, it looked like he was going to go down there about 8 yards before he was finally taken to the ground. He just kind of bumped into his teammates and then bounced off and made about 8 more yards, and now they've got first down at the 42.
Dominic Rezac been a big piece to this team so far this season as they go to the I formation once again. He is wrapped up behind the line. First one to get to it, number 66, Bo Douglas.
I'll tell you what, this Islander defense, they've got some big people up front that are just towering over this West Side offensive line. They've got some very physical guys up there up front. The West Side's been able so far on this series to move the ball.
We'll see both Douglas as well as Carson Lighting here, the defensive line for Grand Island. They work a 3-4. And a first down, and get a little bit more as well. There is a flag down near the 48-yard line.
And on that play, it could be holding. Officials are conferring along the near sidelines. Here's the indication.
Number 30, 2-yard penalty. Still second down.
The penalty goes against Westside, and that'll wipe out that run. It'll be second down now at the 37-yard line for the Warriors.
It looked like it was number 71, Jackson Yeager, on the inside. They called the number 40. They don't have a 40 on the West Side roster. The Warriors here with a 2nd and 10. Hogan rushed out to the right side. He'll hand it off to up the middle once again. And it'll be a gain of 2.
Rezac on the carry. Bransell on the tackle.
The Warriors
For the Islanders.
will try to have a big 3rd down here in their own territory.
Big play here, 3rd and long for this Westside team. Looking to probably pass the ball. Look out for Grant Guyette. That is Colby Brown's favorite receiver in plays like this.
Kurt Kuber's still in the ball game here for the Warriors. No indication of why Dominic Rezac is out. Kuber will motion out to the inner sideline. Drop back from Brown. Long throw to the outer sideline. And not able to make the play. Pushed out of bounds. That's Avery Donnellinger on the outer sideline to bring up a 4th down.
Good idea to try to go for that 1st down there. Just not enough room there on the far sidelines for the Warriors. And now they're in a punting situation, but Jaden, they got out of that big hole with a couple 1st downs when they were down near the 4-yard line on their first possession of the game. Now they got a little more breathing room and push this Grand Island offense back a little farther.
Both teams will make a lot of stops here in this first quarter as we end near the end of it. This punt from Marty Mormino, and Fox with a fair catch at the 31. The Islanders will take back over, looking for their first scoring drive of the night on their 3rd drive of the game. And a big guy to talk about is Kyton Fife.
Yeah, Kyton Fife is the guy that makes this Islander offense goes. He ranks 10th in the state in total offense. He can do it all on the football field. He's a safety on defense, but at quarterback, he's their leading rusher. He's their top passer. He makes things happen for this Islander offense, and this will be their 3rd possession of the game. They've moved it on their past 2 series, but this time they're starting way back on their own 31-yard line.
1st and 10, 4 out wide for the Islanders. Fife will keep it himself, work around 2 defenders, and will gain 4.
Good defense by the Warriors there. They're keeping an eye on Fife. They know that he's the guy that can hurt them the most. They really spy him very well and try to stop him, and that's what they did. Only gain of about 4 yards on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and long.
Islanders quick to the line once again. Another pistol set here for the Islanders. Fife steps back. Little dump off pass to Aiden McDermott. He'll try to work around, but won't be able to. Be a gain of 1. It looked like it was Andrew Nielsen able to make the play on the far sideline.
Boy, that was a great defensive play. He sounded that one out really well, snuffed it out, and hit the receiver and pushed him back. And he may have lost yardage after he caught the ball. That now puts it about at the 35-yard line, and it's 3rd down and long. Yeah, he did lose, I think, a couple yards on the play.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 here. Islanders trying to put something together before we end the first quarter. 3 out wide to the right. Fife, a little bit of early move and no call there. Fife will look for the long pass. Not a good one, and that goes out of bounds. The flag down, might see some intentional grounding.
Yeah, that was a pass that there was nobody there. He threw it almost to Brett Foyt along the sidelines there, and he had nowhere to go on that pass.
See what the penalty call is.
They decline it. It was against Grand Island, and that'll bring up 4th down for Grand Island, and they will punt the ball away. A good defensive series there by the Warriors. They stopped Grand Island for the first time in this game on their first series on their possession, and they're going to punt the ball way back from the 25-yard line.
First three and out of the night for the Islanders. Caleb Benning back deep. Long line drive kick, bounces, moves back a couple yards. Benning will take it, and will be immediately wrapped up. Only gain about 2 yards, and the Islanders will keep the Warriors at their own 28.
Well, now this Westside offense has got some better field position than they did earlier in this game when they were inside their own 10-yard line. At least they're out to about the 27 to start, and that's a better start for them right now.
It's been a low-scoring affair here for the Warriors and Islanders. We saw that in the last 2 weeks for these two teams. We'll see what they can do here for the rest of this one. Colby Brown under center. He'll step back, look for the floater, over to Carter Hogan, able to break a couple tackles, and he's going to get down to the 50-yard line, a gain of 25.
Great job by Carter Hogan there. Catches the ball, broke away from 2 defenders, and was able to get that ball all the way out to the 49-yard line of Westside. And they're in business here with a new set of downs. First down at the 49.
Hogan's been a big piece of this team and really an overlooked piece of this team. We saw so much about Grant Guyette, how he's been able to work out of the slot and to the outside. We'll see what these Warriors can do for the rest of this drive here at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a quick break here on WTV Live. When we come back, second quarter action, Islanders, Warriors. First and 10, start of the second quarter here for the Warriors and Islanders. High snap, going to give it off to Dominic Rezac. He'll rush up the middle for a gain of 3.
It's good to see Rezac back out there on the field, coming off that record-setting game from a week ago. And maybe he can get this running game going here for Westside. Their best field position of this game, starting from the 49-yard line, and after a gain of 4 on that run.
8 in the box here for the Islanders. Might see a blitz set, and moving at the line, we'll see a false start.
Westside still in good position here. It'll be 5 yards against Westside on that play. Takes it back to the 48-yard line of Westside, and that'll bring up second and long.
Second down and 11 on their own 48-yard line.
Second and 11 here for the Warriors. Rezac up the middle. Will try to find some room, but the Islander defensive line is showing out today. Has at least kept Rezac from really finding any too big open holes.
I'll tell you, that middle of that Grand Island defense is tough. There's some big defensive linemen in there, and they're doing a terrific job on this Westside team.
The Warriors tonight, only 83 total yards of offense. Islanders themselves only have 64. It's been a defensive battle for both teams. It's really been a game of field position. Islanders have had a lot. Warriors not so much. Right out to the outside. Grant Guyette unable to make the play. It's a beautiful throw, but there's a flag in the backfield.
And that'll probably be a holding call against the Warriors when you see a flag go in the backfield like that. And it is against the Warriors. That'll push them back even farther now.
55. Decline.
R.J. Eckhart with the hold. And the Warriors today have 4 different penalties for a total of 30 yards. And here on 4th and 10, they'll punt it away.
And Marty Mormino will be back to punt for Westside. Try to put that ball inside the 10-yard line. Put Grand Island in a hole. His punts earlier in this game have been short, and Grand Island has been able to run them back. We'll see how he does on this one.
Another high snap to Marty Mormino. He's able to get it away. Fox, another fair catch, and he'll keep it at the 25-yard line. A lot of slow offenses here for these two teams. The Islanders are looking here to try to find something, on offense for either of these teams to do neither of these teams have really been able to find anything out to the outside, really too much open space.
Well, this has really been Grand Island's type of game. They only average 21 points a game, so this is right in their wheelhouse right here, these type of games, and they like these low-scoring affairs, and that's the way Grand Island wins them, and that's what they're doing to Westside so far tonight.
5 will have a motion out to the right. Little pitch play, little trickery. Fox trying to throw it and gets hit, almost intercepted. It was tipped around with a nose tackle, Ryan Zadiska, and he's thrown himself around with that one. Almost had a big man interception.
I think that was a double reverse right there that we saw. You had two guys toss the ball in the backfield there on a reverse and incomplete pass.
Neither offense able to get much going. Des moving early.
This is the first time in the game that Westside has really gotten Grand Island in a hole. They've had great field position every time they've taken the ball, but this time they've been pushed way back, now back to their own 17-yard line.
Empty backfield here for Fife. Throw over to the outside and go out of bounds. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 15.
Good defense over there by the Warriors. Anthony Rezac covering the receiver. Nowhere to go for Grand Island on that one. And now this brings up 3rd and 15. This is a big play for this Warrior defense right here.
Empty back. Fife will take it himself on a QB run. Is taken behind the line. Jack Wimmer, the linebacker here tonight, able to make the play on the outer edge. And it'll bring up a long 4th and 18.
Great pursuit in the backfield by Jack Wimmer. He really got to the quarterback with his speed, and Fife had nowhere to go. And Wimmer really made a big tackle for a loss there. And now they have to punt it away from their own 15-yard line.
Caleb Benning back for the Warriors. And a kick just barely gets away. Benning will take it at the own 49, trying to find some open spaces. Tripped up, hit near his shin, almost flipped him over.
Great punt return there by Benning. I tell you what, he had no fear right there, caught the ball at about the 50-yard line and was able to return it. And he had a lot of daylight there, but got just tripped up. He's okay.
Within Grand Island territory at their 35. Handoff will be given to Rezac, trying to find the corner. He'll cut back inside, and he'll gain 4.
You know, one thing about Rezac, he's got a great burst of speed. He gets the handoff, and he sees that opening and then just shoots towards it. He's got just a great burst, and that's why he is so successful on his runs. He finds that opening and then hits.
Rezac will come in for this play. Rezac, the sophomore, will hand it off to his brother, and Dominic, he's able to find a couple holes, working through a couple defenders, and Dominic looks like he'll get the first down, barring the penalty flag. That's back around the 32.
Indication from the official, and that'll take it way back here to about the 42-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 16. Big, costly penalty there for the Warriors on that one.
So leave the Rezac brothers in. Anthony playing quarterback here tonight, the backup to Colby Brown. We saw that they were going to bring the both of them here tonight.
To get something going on the far outside, wasn't able to do it. It'll bring up 3rd down and long, and, you know, those penalties really hurt you. And pushed this team way back. They had some good momentum, some good runs, and that just pushed it way back. And now they're trying to, you know, make up such big yardage here.
So keep both the Rezac brothers out here. Talking to Freund coming into this week, we knew we were going to see a little bit of Anthony, but didn't know how much. Rush coming out from the outside. Anthony's going to take it himself. Be able to move past a couple defenders. Going to move to the outside, and it'll be just taken down at the 3-yard line. Anthony Rezac able to make the explosive play that the Warriors needed. And the rushing game is helping these Warriors as it's going to be a 1st and goal.
Big play there by Rezac. Didn't find any open receivers. Found some daylight up the middle, and he just kind of weaved his way through that Islanders secondary and was finally taken down.
Anthony Rezac under center. He'll hand it off to his brother and Dominic. He'll try to push the line and will be just short. Try to reach the ball out, but got to about the half-yard line.
They're going to put that ball just outside the 1-yard line, about 1.5 yards to go. Almost touching the 2-yard line. And they'll keep it tight. Tight end set in the middle.
Fremont really likes to use his tight ends for a lot of blocking schemes. Run up the middle, easy touchdown. Untouched is Dominic Rezac. There's a flag after the play. And the referees are trying to stop the play here.
Call. It's a touchdown.
After the play, we have unsportsmanlike on the offense. That would be administrative on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown on Westside.
So Westside scores their first points of the day. Rezac able to get in, but some extracurricular activities afterwards.
But that was a great formation, Wildcat formation. Handed off to Rezac, and he gets the touchdown.
Alvano, perfect so far this season, is up, and it's good. So the Warriors strike first here in the second quarter. Dominic Rezac able to make the run up the gut. And the Warriors lead 7-0. We'll take a quick break here on WTV Live. When we come back, Islanders trying to answer back here in the second. Westside strikes first. A 1-yard run from Dominic Rezac, and the Rezac connection is in effect once again for the Warriors. Saw a lot of Anthony coming for Colby on a few plays at the 30-yard run down into the red zone. And his brother Dominic punches it in. The unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the touchdown play will move as. Alvano's kick deep, and it will be caught at the 10-yard line. Trying to move out to the outside, cut across the middle, is tripped up, and there'll be a penalty flag thrown. Teddy Rezac trying to make the final hit and bring him down. We'll see what the call is.
Teddy Rezac on the tackle, again flag on the play.
It looks like it's going to be on ground.
So holding coming across the middle. Looks like Rezac was held up a little bit before able to get that final decisive block at the shin to bring Cohen Evans back down. And the Islanders will start off at their own 38.
From the 37-yard line.
First and 10 here for the Islanders. Trying to find something before we get closer into halftime. Fife will keep it himself. Run pass option out to the outside. Give it to Fox. Fox able to elude one tackler. Will gain about 2 and will bring up a 2nd and 8.
Good pursuit there by the Warriors secondary. Guyette got over there and made the tackle after.
Fife will keep it himself once again, trying to get to the outer sideline, and will find nothing there. 3 Warriors trying to get onto him. Looks like Kurt Kubrich was the first one to get the hit. And it'll bring up A big third down here for Grand Island.
Kubrich came up and really stuck the quarterback really well, Fife, and that was able to stop him momentarily, but then the Westside defense did the rest of the job to take him down at about the 42.
Third down here for the Islanders. Trying to make the play. He did. Check that. It's Dylan Sextro able to tippy tap on the sidelines. It'll be a first down for the Islanders at the Westside 43.
There wasn't much room left there along the sidelines. Just a great catch, great play by Grand Island to take the ball all the way down to the 43.
Tommy Connolly shifts back into the game for the Warriors. Is dealing with a couple of hand injuries, has a cast in his right arm as this one is flipped out to the outside. Aiden McDermott is stopped behind the line. Jack Wimmer able to be the first one on the tackle.
Good pursuit there by the Westside secondary. Only a gain of 2 yards on that play. Good job. As a matter of fact, that is a loss of 2 on the play.
Islanders taking a lot of time to try to find this play here. Both teams have not been able to find a lot of opportunities on offense. Only one scoring drive, only 3 drives even within the red zone. Long pass out to the outside, broken up. Teddy Rezac in coverage, able to make a great play.
Good play by Rezac. He was over there, was able to tip the ball down there about the 30-yard line. That would have given Grand Island a first down. Now it's third and long, and I'll tell you what, another big play for this Warrior defense here to stop this Grand Island drive.
Something going long ball across the middle to Fox, and it is broken up and picked. Caleb Benning off of the back of Dominic Rezac. He's trying to run across the middle of the field and is brought down at the Westside 34. What a defensive play. Rezac didn't even see the ball. It came off his shoulder, and Benning was right there to grab it.
Fife threw that ball into traffic down about the 5-yard line. Westside tipped the ball in there for Westside, and they stopped that drive by Grand Island and got the ball now at the 33. Good defensive stop by Westside on that play.
First turnover of the day for either teams, and that could be a big momentum swing, especially the struggles that we've seen from both of these offenses. We'll see if Westside can make something out of this. But keep Anthony Rezac in the game. Carter Hogan motion out to the outer sideline. Long pass over to Grant Guyette, able to make the play, and will gain 6.
Of about 7 yards. Found the open receiver. That'll give him some confidence as he tries to throw the ball in this game.
We'll see how they want to mix Brown and Rezac. Of course, Anthony in line with Dominic right behind him. They'll bring it off to Dominic. Huge hole, trying to bounce to the outside, and will gain a first down. Be pushed just near the sideline at the Grand Island 49.
Over the right side, gives some daylight to Dominic Rezac, and now they're out to midfield.
Motion out to the outer sideline from Carter Hogan once again. A little bit of early movement, long pass. It'll go to Avery Donnellinger. He'll be able to make the play. And the Warriors will set up at the 41 here on a close 2nd and 2.
Yeah, we're starting to see these young Warriors really make a difference here on this series. Good pass.
Box set here for the Warriors. Motion once again out to the right from Carter Hogan. They'll dish it off to Dominic Rezac. He'll gain the first down. The Warriors just chipping away continuously here. I wonder if Floyd really wants to make sure they can continue this rushing game, especially with just over 3:44 left to go here in the second quarter.
And that's what worked so well a week ago against Papio South, was the running game. And it evolved during the game. It didn't come out right away. And they're really moving the chains right now.
We gain about 6. Some extracurriculars going on the near sideline. It looks like Avery Donnelly and Brandon Fox. Excuse me, that's number 18, Will Knuth.
From the 32-yard line.
A little bit chippy to the near sideline.
Westside's moving the ball, though. And that's so important right here on this drive.
High formation once again.
And that offensive line by Westside really opening up some big holes here in the second quarter something you didn't see early in the game, and now they're starting to really assert themselves in the trenches.
It's
third and one here for the Warriors. Dominic Rezac comes back into the game. Nielsen clock was reset. I don't know what was going on there. Rezac, Dominic will work back up the middle, gain another first down, and barrel inside the red zone.
Rezac, with his quick reflexes and his cuts, made that play happen. He had the ball, and there was an opening over the left side.
Warriors continually trying to chip away here. Trying to get in near the end zone. Long pass from Anthony out to Grant Guyette, trying to chip back in. Excuse me, that's Carter Hogan able to make the play. He'll be pushed out of bounds.
Hogan with the reception.
Close to the first down marker. And they'll bring it a first down, so it's 1st and goal for the Warriors. Stacked up I formation here. Rezac under center will give it off to Dominic. He'll try to cut to the outside, break it, sack, cut back in and jump into the end zone. Dominic Rezac, 2nd touchdown of the day. And the Warriors jump out ahead here near halftime.
Another big play by that Warrior offensive line. They found a big hole, and Dominic saw it and raced right through it and then leaped into the end zone for the touchdown. Another great effort by Dominic Rezac, who's headed to the Air Force Academy, his 2nd touchdown of the game. Back-to-back weeks, he's really had some good games here.
So we talked so much about the Colby Brown. 1:32 left to go here in the first half. Westside goes up 2 scores, 14-0. Here, 1:32 left to go here in the first half. Westside is up 14-0 over the Islanders. It's been a slow offensive night for these two teams, especially in the first quarter, but the Warriors on back-to-back drives are able to rely on Dominic Rezac to make some big plays.
And it's up to this Westside defense now to pretty much shut down Grant downfield. With 5 at quarterback, he can make things happen. Just keep them scoreless here for about 2 more minutes in this second quarter.
Albano's kick way through the end zone for a touchback, so the Islanders will start off at their own 20, trying to work some kind of 2-minute drill here.
The question is, do you really want to try a 2-minute drill when you're on your own 20-yard line? Maybe you just want to go to the locker room down only 14-0. Sometimes when teams try to do something here in the final 2 minutes of the game, you might see a fumble or an interception, and it could prove to be costly. So it'll be interesting to see what Grand Island decides to do here, whether they go for the long ball or they just try to run out the clock.
Only 78 total yards for the Islanders here tonight. The middle, and it looks like they're just going to play it safe with 1.5 minutes here left to go. Grand Island does have 2 timeouts, and it looks like Coach Freund will take a timeout, maybe to give themselves one more opportunity.
Good decision by head coach Brett Freund to call a timeout with 1:21 left in the half. And they've got an opportunity here to maybe get great field position against this Grand Island team. The wind is behind the Grand Island team at about 8 to 10 miles per hour. So they could punt the ball. They've got the wind behind them pretty strong. But it's 2nd down and 8 here with a timeout. And Westside's hoping to get the ball back here and maybe try to get in the end zone one more time before they head to the locker room.
The Islanders, if they do end up getting in field goal range, will rely on the 41 Braxton Mendez, the actual backup kicker. Their starting kicker, Hyder Alba Meta, was injured going into last week's game, but Mendez able to come through in a big way. A last-second field goal to bring the Islanders over Fremont. And we'll see what they can do here if they can possibly bring down a drive. The Warriors trying to think strategically as well. Motion out to the near sideline. Fife trying to find time. Little dump off. We'll give it off to Sextro. And it'll make it a third down. And once again, Coach Freund takes his second timeout of the half. 1:09 left to go here in this first half. And Westside in prime opportunity at some great field position.
That was an interesting reception there. Did he slide to stop the clock, or did he try to get the first down? That's what I was trying to figure out.
It looks like Sextro was trying to keep it in himself. He kind of bobbled it when it came out of his hand, bring it kind of back into his gut. I think he was just trying to bring it back into him.
So he fell down about 2 yards short of a first down. And this will be interesting to see.
A big play here on 3rd and 1. Both teams, between Westside now with 1 timeout. Grand Island still with 2. And I highly doubt the Islanders would want to do something too dangerous here on 3rd and 1. Spread set here. Fife. Little option. Will keep it himself and will get the first down. So they keep the chains moving. The clear want to try to maybe go for something and make a big play. Up to the line quickly, 55 seconds left to go. 5 steps back, looking for a long pass out to the outside. Fox able to make the play and step out of bounds. The Islanders now out to their own 39. 3 more about pass plays just like that could get them into some kind of range.
You might remember last week, Grand Island rallied in the final minutes against Fremont, and they drove downfield with
from the Warriors. Five gonna have to roll out, long throw, wide open receiver, able to make the plays. Number 16, Cole Marsh, and into the end zone. A big play before halftime. And the Islanders strike back with a big play. After just moments ago, they thought that they would be going into halftime happy with the 2-score deficit.
They threw into single-man coverage. There was just one defender there for Westside. He outran the Warriors not to have that covered. Only one defender over there on the far sidelines. And Grand Island, after a mistake by this Warrior secondary, is on the scoreboard, and it's a much different ball game now.
PAT is good from Mendez, so 39 seconds left to go.
Trying to settle to go into the locker room down 14-0, and they weren't going to call any timeouts, but after Westside stopped them on the first 2 plays of that series, and they burned 2 timeouts, then Fife decided to go for it all, and it works for Grand Island, and it's a different.
Knuth been playing both sides of the ball for the Islanders so far coming into the night. Had 108 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And it looked like Fife was just going to maybe run a keeper over there on the far side, but then he saw that receiver wide open, said, hey, I'm going to throw it. Who cares about running the ball?
So Braxton Mendez will kick it away here for the Islanders. Warriors only have 1 timeout, so we might only see 2 or 3 plays left to go here in this game, in this first half. Long kick. Caleb Benning to take it himself, trying to find an opening or near the far sideline. He'll be kept in bounds. The Warriors, if they look to make a drive out of it, will start off at their own 26.
Do you try to make something happen here late in the game?
You got to make one big play if you're going to be able to do that. You got to find somebody across the seam. Maybe find a guy like Grant Guyette that can be somewhat explosive. You can't run the ball. We maybe have one chance to maybe see the middle of the field. Kobe Brown now on the sidelines. The 3rd straight offensive opportunity for the Warriors. A go passing game here. Rezac, lots of time in the pocket. Try to go over and able to make the play was Carter Hogan near the far sideline. The Warriors are in business.
drive. Rezac has really thrown the ball here very well in the second quarter.
25 seconds left to go. Rezac will take it himself on a QB run. He's going to go back to the outside, trying to move past a couple defenders, back to the inside, and into the red zone. Tripped up at the 15, and the Warriors once again are in business. Anthony, they're going to keep going for it, and they'll spike the ball down. Anthony Rezac, goodness gracious, both sides of the ball he's showing out tonight.
He's got a long pass of about 20 yards for a first down, and then he has about a 50-yard run. That's 2 plays in about 26 seconds for the Warriors here, just 10 seconds left. They've got a chance maybe for one more play, and then they might attempt a field goal, but we'll see what happens.
Still do have that one timeout left, so could try to see a play across the middle, then one final heave to the end zone, but a maximum of 3 plays that we can see left. Rezac steps back. Blitz coming at him, and he is sacked back to the 30-yard line. Exactly what you cannot do. But a lot of confusion down on the sidelines.
I think they're going to put some more time back on the clock because that play wasn't 10 seconds long. Here comes the kicking team out right now, so they'll attempt a field goal. And it's going to be a long one. It's going to be over 40 yards for this attempt.
Timeout.
The Westside calls a timeout. There's 4 seconds they'll put back on the clock. It's confused, the clock kept rolling there, but Tristan Alvano now will look here for a 44-yard field goal. His season high on the year is 47 the first game up against Creighton Prep.
Wind has really died down right now. And Grand Island's called a timeout to ice him.
An odd timeout there. A lot of confusion on both sides trying to get that ball down, see how much time was left. I'm not even sure if that really would do the factor of being able to ice Tristan, because that entire offensive line was very confused. 2 guys trying to come back in, another guy coming back out. But maybe it might give him a little more relaxation to be able to focus on this next kick. I'm not even sure if that was the right move by Coach Tomlin.
Well, coaches like to ice a kicker sometimes, but we'll see if that makes a difference here for Tristan Alvano. Long kick for him, 43 yards, but that wind is not a factor right now.
An attempt. Round will be.
Alvano has been consistent all year, one of the best kickers in the state, and there'll be a timeout for Grand Island, and now is where you really do the icing.
Yeah, a lot of coaches like to put that in the kicker's head, make them think about it more and more, but the kickers usually get back in the huddle just to give them some confidence.
Be a big point here for the Warriors. They do receive the second half kickoff, and being able to be up by 2 possessions going into half, especially how slow these 2 offenses have been, be really big if they can make this field goal here. But a big thing to talk about going into the second half as well. They're going to go Anthony Rezac, or they're going to try to maybe bring it back to Colby Brown. Didn't really see a full 2. 4 seconds left, no matter what, this will be the last play of the first half. 44-yarder coming here from Tristan Alvano. Kick from Alvano. It's got the length, and it is up through the uprights. Tristan Alvano, only 1 missed field goal on this season, and his second.
Plenty of distance on that one. It could have been good from over 50 yards. Great momentum builder for Westside. Instead of going ahead 14-7, only a 7-point margin. Now it's 10, and you can kind of forget about that touchdown they gave up at the end of the first half. Much better situation going into the locker room at halftime.
In Grand Island, they do outpass the Warriors here in this first half. 111 yards to the Westside 71, but the rushing attack has been entirely flip-flop. Westside with 172 rushing yards to Grand Island's just 47, 12 first downs for the Warriors, and only 1 turnover that was on the Islanders. So these 2 teams are still within reach of each other.
Rezac really was the turning point when he came in at quarterback. 2 big, long runs for him in this second quarter, and it's kind of been the Rezac show here in the second quarter, and that's been what has given Westside a 10-point lead here heading into halftime.
Could definitely be some talks about QB position going forward. It's going to be a big thing to talk about for this team.
It's a good problem to have. Let me tell you, when you can have two talented quarterbacks, I've covered a lot of teams through the years. When you've got a 1-2 punch of quarterback, it gives your offense so much more confidence, and it's so hard to defend. You know, two different quarterbacks, you know what their strengths are, and when you've got that, that's a good situation for the head coach.
The Warriors will have more first half coverage, and we'll get to the Dunkin Trivia Question of the game.
It's a big moment with a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com. lot of emotions when you hand the keys over about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. Wins.com.
Here at halftime, we're about 2.5 minutes away from second half kickoff. But
No doubt about it. When he gained in the game early in the second quarter, it gave that Warrior team and he's really made a difference here with this Warrior offense, and he's enabled them to get 17 points on the board.
For the Warriors as well, 3 carries, taking himself for 68 yards. Both of the touchdowns tonight for the Warriors have come from his brother, the senior Dominic Rezac. I think that Rezac family is got to be loving each of these games.
You know, I talked to the dad, DJ, before the game. The Lance is going to do it, and I said, do you have a picture of the 3 brothers together? And he goes, of course I do. I like them in the white uniforms because their faces show up better with the white uniforms, but he's a proud dad. The Westside for the Legion Baseball, over 500. They've had some great baseball players through the years, but great family, and the Suns are putting on a show tonight.
So Colby Brown comes out of the game only 2 for 6 on the night for a 30-pounder. Does Fremont maybe want to mix it up with a 2-quarterback set? It allows a lot of options because I think Rezac, Anthony, been able to use his feet a little bit more, been able to work around. And we saw there, down inside the red zone.
It creates a lot of problems for opposing teams. You know, do they play a defense with Rezac at quarterback, and do you worry about him passing the ball? So that's a big dilemma that causes a lot of problems for opposing defenses. And looking down the road,
team and interesting going forward. Once again, they'll go up against Miller North, next week at Miller North. But Miller North really struggling this season, has had a hard schedule. Currently 0-4 on the year, but updates around in the first quarter.
I thought you were telling me the baseball score.
0-0, and then we see a non-baseball score, very much so, nothing over Bellevue East. That ties Westside actually for the second, and it was 2 years ago. We actually streamed that game. 70 points in the first half for the Warriors up against Omaha Northwest. Only 7 on, but a big piece for Gretna to show why they're a top 10 team. Again, Bellevue East, not a team that you're going to see to show, yes, they deserve, although a comparatively easier schedule, to be one of those top contenders.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the top 10 shakes out. That's where you want to go.
So with the Dunkin Trivia Question here tonight, before we get into the second half, last week we talked so much about the Rezacs here tonight. A state record for most rushing yards in a season.
I know the answer to this one.
We'll give the gift card out to somebody else, Ross. Gotta wait.
Okay.
Gotta wait.
Okay. I'm trying to.
Here for Grand Island. And the second half is underway. Kick goes out of bounds before it gets to the end zone. So flag will be called, and Westside will start in some pretty good field position to start off this.
And they'll get the ball way out to the 35-yard line.
And it looks like in the huddle there, and Anthony will come out and lead these Warriors here in the second half. A lot of discussion coming around that Colby Brown is not. It looked like number 55, R.J. Eckhart, moved.
Jumped a little too early on that one.
Four out wide for the Warriors. Anthony going to give it off to Dominic Rezac. Third touchdown of the night. That one first.
He took it into a new gear there when he got into the secondary. There was nobody that was going to catch him. He cut back down to the near sidelines and Warriors.
Rezac tonight, 15 carries, 137 yards, adding with that 70-yard run. And now 3 touchdowns. There is a Grand Island defense. Both Rezacs have been doing amazing. I got to get used to that.
You got to say the first names because the Rezacs are out there.
Playing in the same game, Teddy Rezac, also the twin of Anthony Rezac, plays. Rezacs have a big future coming in front of them.
How many rushing yards does Dominic have? Have they tabulated that in this game after that 70-yard run.
For that run with 2 touchdowns. They've been really working him to barrel down, and the Warriors, when they wouldn't say he was slow in those first 3 games. Like, in no way would I say he was slow comparatively to what he's been able to do, but comparatively to what he flat out show, and has made a lot of defenses look a lot slower.
And I think one difference is the offensive line has evolved in these last 2 games week, and that's what you have to do as a football team, is to improve by the time you get to playoffs at the end of October, and that's what this Westside offense is needing.
The offensive line has been a big thing to talk about for these Warriors. It's a really young group starting into tonight, James and Jackson Yeager. But like most years, I mean, Freund has continually talked about, okay, what's going to be the biggest thing? It's always been out and shown how guys can really step up in big moments. PAT here up 3 scores up on Grand Island, a 24-7 ball game. The Rezacs are having a night here at Phelps Field. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Dominant here and have shown out here in the start of this third quarter.
You might remember the last time Grand Island had the ball at the end of the first half. There was just under a minute left on the clock. It looked like they might try. And here he is in at quarterback again. Run up the middle, and Westside stuffs it.
Great play by the defensive line. Nose tackle Ryan Zadiska, the first one to get to him. 5 attempts for 30 yards, but definitely not his normal self. Pistol set here for the Islanders. 4 out wide once again. Might see a rush from the inside. No, Gunnarsson will step back.
Nice pass there all the way out to the 35-yard line. Good defense by the Warriors, but it was also a great catch by Grand Island for a first down here.
And he'll keep it himself and is wrapped up behind the line. Jack Wimmer able to burst to the far sideline, able to make a tackle behind the line.
Behind the line of scrimmage. He's having a great game tonight, really snuffing out that Caden Fife there for another loss.
Fife once again, empty backfield. He'll step back, look for the far sideline, inner sideline. Brandon Fox.
15 yards. He's looking to him every time. Maybe try to give this offense of the Islanders a little bit of a spark. Down by 17 points here early in the third quarter.
Warriors on track to possibly blow this one open if they get a scoring drive in the next 2 opportunities. Five will step back, trying to go long ball to the near sideline. Fogg
got just past it by about 3 yards. Great route by Grand Island and Fox to get that first down out at the 49-yard.
Five once again with an empty backfield. Blitz coming here. Fife to take it himself and barrel down for a gain of 7.
Powered his way for about 7 yards there and takes it all the way to the 40.
Fife once again with an empty backfield. Blitz will be coming here from the Warriors. Little pass towards the far hash.
Half, kind of take their time, be patient on offense.
Fife once again with an empty backfield. Going long ball out to the outside, and
good defensive coverage there by the Warriors. Did not let him get back behind them like they did in the first half. Just good strategy there by the Warriors on that pass play.
Five seconds left. Nowhere. Tommy Connolly able to make the big play, and Tripp would be out this week up against Grand Island. Was not even on the depth chart coming into tonight, but has the cast on the right arm and is making some plays.
He was down on the
A huge loss. Looks like a loss of 13 There's a flag on the play. It looks like it might have been a hold.
And with his speed was able to chase him down, and that's a big loss for the Islanders. Let's see, 4th down and 19. Wow.
So that brings up 4th down.
But after an injury, has now been working at the linebacker spot as this punt from Fife is going to roll. 8:39 left to go here in this third quarter. Westside looking to add on to their see Colby Brown. We talked to Coach Freund, might see a little bit back and forth of
difference here in this game. Colby's along the sidelines.
3 out wide. Dominic to the left of Anthony. Anthony.
Westside still moving the ball here midway through the third quarter to get a 1st down. They were getting some big chunks here tonight.
Anthony will give it off to Dominic.
Up the middle. They're not giving up, down by 17.
See a stacked up set defensively for Grand Island. 3rd and 2 here. Be Kurt Kubrich now. Number 27, Alex Zingle, comes from the right side and makes a play for no gain.
Play on defense. It was kind of a delayed run right there. Hesitated and then.
There's his feet on the Grand Island 41. Marty Mormino will be the one to punt. Continue to roll back. Fox has to fall on it. Ball still on the floor. And Odd able to just barely fall on it after Fox muffed that one.
It looks like.
Offense. Penalty, free kick.
And now they get a good opportunity for a block here. Able to make it. It would be not starting here tonight. Key out of his own end zone, rugby kick, trying to get around the corner. So the holding call hurts the Warriors.
I'll tell you what, I was able to chase him down and block it, and that's a big blow for the
end zone, and Colby Brown had nothing to do but fall on it and keep it away from a Grand Island touchdown.
That's one of those things that just costly mistakes like that. They pushed him back, way back towards the inside their own 20. And then you have a punt block there and the touchdown. Luckily, they only got 2 points, but still Westside has to punt the ball away to the Islanders.
The touchdown would have made it a task for Grand Island if they want to be able to make sure they can come back in this one.
Yeah, that's one of those plays when you're a head coach, you just kind of want.
So Westside for the second time today will kick it off back at their own 20. 2 receivers are at their own. Move back up the middle of the field, and we get taken down at the 38-yard line.
Well, Grand Island's got some life here and put it under 10 points in this game.
6:08 left here in the third. Could be a big thing to see. The Islanders today, 190 total yards of offense. 150 passing yards have come from Kite and Fife. Bunched up set. We had an option at the yard line, but it looks like this one is coming back.
Yeah, Grand Island really shifted their field over to the far side of the field. They had 3 receivers over there, but it didn't work out for them.
Call will go on number 76, Bryce Free. Move the Islanders back once again.
First down.
It's the 3rd penalty of the day for 40 yards.
First and 20.
Play, Teddy this time, bringing it down to the 6-yard line. It was tipped off the kick. I've seen a pick like that in a while. A guy with essentially a broken hand puts his casted hand up, tips it.
Here, he tripped up a runner for a loss earlier in the game. And then that tip right there, and Johnny on the spot.
Today thrown by Kite and Five. Both of them have been tips. Ball's on the floor. Rezac's it'll keep it to the Warriors. Rezac able to keep it himself. A bad snap.
Second down.
It'll make it 2nd and goal.
Get you in the end zone.
From the 8-yard line.
I formation. Unable to make the play. Went right through his hands. So now it'll be a 3rd down here for
the sideline. Good throw. He led him well, just off the fingertips.
Grand Island 7.5-yard line. Once again, we'll have 23, Drew Holfeld, able to make the play, and now it's decision time for the Warriors. They'll give Tristan Alvano another chance to continue his recent 7-for-7.
From the Grand Island side, the official was over there talking to the Grand Island.
No foul on this play.
No foul actually on the play. Westside and Tristan Albano will look for a 20-yard field goal here to 44. It adds another 3 points here in the third quarter, and they are up.
It was a great drive right there. They hope to, get it in the field goal. Just to put some points on the board here, expands that lead.
Is in a position right now to where this drive is definitely do or die for them.
They've really contained Fife tonight. He's such a threat as a runner. Hasn't been able to the long ball for the touchdown, but Westside has really contained him running the ball tonight, and that's been one of the lead against these Islanders.
Play this one back deep and into the end zone past Fox. So once again has been able to find some big plays, but has not been able to find one that can really get into the end zone.
And I took the ball. Fife is going to question his passing. His Westside team has run the ball.
Side, little pitch out to Fife. He's going to take it himself, and maybe some trickaroo can help him here.
They'll try anything right now,
So they'll keep Evans in here. Keep Fife playing, and they go to the run back up the middle. It's been an odd night for this Grand Island offense.
Well, I think Fife is having some trouble to really get his passing game going. We have an Islander down on the field right now, and they're coming to check him out.
To the left side, a lot of pressure coming on to him. Gets past one defender, going to run down the nearest first down.
And that's the success of this Grand Island offense, is Fife's ability to just scramble and make something. He's able to run the ball and also throw the ball. And there you saw why he is the leading rusher right now for this Grand Island team.
Play, he'll pitch it back out. Hernandez trying to cut it out the middle, and he'll gain about 3 yards.
Here, they're down 3 scores, and they got to get some points on the board, and they're running the ball.
Third quarter, Fife will step back, trying to look for a play out to the near sideline. A lot of pressure coming on to him, and he'll chuck it away. And I don't want to say he's given up, but they really have not shown that they want to be as much in this game.
He was open, and he just decided to throw it over the Westside bench. And
Grand Island might see Westside blitz a little bit. Maybe a first down for the Islanders. Fox here tonight.
Just at the last second before Westside sacked him, made a nice throw over.
High formation. Handoff to McDermott. Trying to get to the outside. Hill Benning on the tackle.
Caleb Benning just kind of shot through there and was able to make the tackle.
The Islanders will now spread it out wide. Off! Dominic Rezac able to make the pick. Interception. Teddy with an interception. Dominic with 3 touchdowns tonight.
I'll tell you what, he timed that perfectly. But there is a penalty on the play, and that'll move it back to the 38.
Looks like. And Anthony Rezac once again will go. Dominic down the sideline, and he'll get taken down at the 21. And they're down near the red zone.
Big play by the Warriors, takes it down.
Anthony Rezac, he'll hand it off to Kubrich, going up the middle. That'll be taken down for a gain of
here. Under 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Just
Second and 8.
Little screen route out to the outside. Caleb Benning, flag on the play. He'll gain a first down, barring the penalty.
Benning with the reception.
Thrown a situation like that, it looks like a holding call. Instead of having it inside the 10-yard line, pushes the ball back to the 22.
Here for the Warriors. It'll be a 2nd and 8. For them, they will. And it's Grant Guyette able to make the catch and will bring up a short 3rd down. So give him the 1st down there did not in any way seem like they give it off to Kubrich. He'll run for a gain of about a half a yard, but the Brent Island defensive line able to try to make.
In the end of this 3rd quarter, at this end of the field.
Guyette, touchdown Westside. Rezac into the back corner of the end zone to Guyette, and the Warriors have blown this one open.
Guyette was wide open in the corner of the end zone, and Rezac saw him and connected with him for the touchdown.
Now up 34-9 with 20 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back on WTV Live. Is getting out of hand, 2 back deep for the Islanders. But a big and tonight it has been all about the Rezacs on both sides of the ball. It's going to be hard to choose which Rezac to go for our player of the game tonight.
He's had a great night. He's had all the touchbacks, and then he's 2 for 2 on field goals. Of course, that
at a 44-yarder and a 20-yarder. He's only missed 1 field goal this entire season. There's a 37-yarder up against Papio. He's been consistent all year, and he's a guy that a lot of schools that need kicking can very likely see. Just through the offensive line to be able to make a play. Wraps up the Zingle behind the line, and he'll make it a
last play of the 3rd quarter.
So Westside blowing this one open here up against Grand Island. Start a district play, and the Warriors are. Second and 12 here for the Islanders at their own 18 to start off this 4th quarter. First play, Fife across the middle. Able to make the play is Cole Thorne, and he'll.
Even though they're down by 25 points, you got to pass to get back in the game. Still plenty of time. 11:55 left here in the 4th quarter.
The start of the 4th quarter here, Westside had some big plays in that 2nd and 3rd quarter, a combined score of all of their 30 brothers. 3 out wide to the right for Fife. He'll hand it off over to the outside to Alejandro Suarez.
It's also a good play because it runs to the sidelines, and they're able to stop the clock there, and that's what they need to do.
A 2nd and 2. A big hit from Tommy Connolly coming behind him, a block behind him on the option play. Nobody else seen in front of him, and Fife was wide open for a big hit.
Yeah, Fife just left himself as a big loss.
It'll make it a 3rd and 8 here for the Islanders. And talk about this 30 total yards on the night. Westside has more than that rushing. They have 249 rushing.
Reset to 2-5 on the game clock.
On 3rd and long, and it looks like they're going to come up with 4 receivers on this.
Tipped, almost picked off. Kirk Coolbridge.
Blitz right there by the Warriors. They sent everybody in there. They only had about 3.
For the Warriors, Fife will punt it away here. And a long bouncing punt will go in front of Ben. Another offensive drive with just over 10.5 left to go here in this one.
And that's what the Warriors need to do. It'll be interesting to see who the quarterback is that comes in for this series. I'm looking, it's Rezac again. He's going in back in as quarterback, so he remains the quarterback, and Colby Brown will stay on the sideline.
In this one, and Brown, the senior, has sat since the first quarter. Long throw across the middle, wide open, Carter Hogan. He's in open space, trying to get 2. And the Grand Island secondary couldn't find him.
Wow, that was a great pass play by the middle and a big gain down to the 22-yard line.
And Rezac, before that play at brother Dominic, he's still pushing. He'll gain 3. But man, it has been fun to say Rezac tonight. I swear, every single time Teddy Rezac has an interception, Dominic Rezac has an interception. Dominic Rezac also has 3 rushing touchdowns, 137 yards on the night. Anthony Rezac, and it'll be pushed out. We'll get the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Warriors. But what a combined stat line. Going into next week, is Anthony going to save this starting job? Is Colby going to move in? Are we going to see these back and forth, maybe a 2-set thing that we've seen a lot from Lincoln?
Very impressive tonight. Turning point of the game was when he came in at quarterback and really sparked this offense. There he gets another when the Warriors really kind of struggled deep in their own territory. They really couldn't get anything going.
So we just under 9 minutes left to go here in this game. Rezac will give it off to Dominic. Anthony to Dominic once again for the connection. I'm saying Rezac again. It's 2 Rezacs again. That combined between the 2 of them, 3 of them overall.
I know the dad DJ's over in the other press box, and he's got to be proud tonight.
He is good, and Westside now up 32 in this one with 8:49.
And please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.
Between Anthony and Dominic Rezac. Dominic, a 5-yard reception there for a touchdown. Anthony Rezac has had 2 passing touchdowns tonight. I
think I know one, and I think you'll be talking to him after the game, and he's the one who's calling the signals.
Alvano's boot once again way back in the quarter. Try to see what kind of depth this team has.
Well, I think, Jaden, as you look at it, with this quarterback situation, it gives Westside some depth now at quarterback. They've got 2 players that play extremely well. Led this team to their 5th victory of the season.
That one for the game for the Islanders is Cohen Evans. His first play of the game, especially with a blowout win here. The schedule definitely becomes easier after this. They go up against an a Miller North. We'll also see Norfolk here at home. After that Miller North game, we'll see a big game.
And Fife has left the game as the quarterback for Grand Island. They have a new quarterback in there.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 8.
We have 3rd and 8 here for the Islanders. This here continually have not been able to find much offensively. Kyton Fife has been able to continually approachment on the defensive line.
Yeah, Fife was really the big player, the difference for this Westside defense. They really surrounded him and wasn't able to get much tonight at all. the clock to the loss here. Just trying to give these.
Nice tackle.
Well, this is an opportunity to see the future of the Warriors here. Get to see some players we usually don't see here in a game.
Surprisingly, I haven't seen a lot of change. Vasquez trying to get around to the corner is taken back behind the line. Kurt Cooper.
Third and 8 from the 37-yard line.
And there are really still quite a few starters for West.
Our team is either a first string or a light second string guy. What we continually do. Evans will step back, look for a pass. Marker, so we'll see what Tomlin wants to do here on this 4th down.
Only allowing one touchdown. And that was.
It's going to be a fake punt, run up the middle. It's going to be a first down for the Island.
First and 10 from the
Grab that
their own
snap right back into his goal. And
here with 5 minutes to go in the game. And a big.
To the left to McDermott. McDermott will push out of bounds. They'll gain about only half a yard.
For that 2.5-hour drive back to Grand Island tonight, Friday, and get to Westside about 2 hours before kickoff.
Evans will step back. Hard ride home, especially going out to Grand Island.
Yeah.
2.5, 3-hour drive.
On to the 4th quarter and really had a chance to win all 4 of their games against this Grand Island team.
It's a 3rd and 10. Evans punting team will see if they want to maybe switch it up here once again.
Yeah.
Just barely away from Chiton 5. Benville once again at their own 19. We'll see what change.
Defense was on the field. I would expect him to go back out.
Thank you for getting this one. Calvin Strong back in running backs in Nebraska history. And you get yourself in the Omaha and Council Bluffs area. It's going to be hard to beat Colby Brown right now.
Yeah, watch it from the sidelines. But there'll be another opportunity for him to get back.
Stays in bounds to keep this clock rolling, but to bring up 3rd and long.
And Westside just this game has been put away since the beginning of the 4th quarter when the Warriors.
Be a big thing to see coming this next week, how this offense can roll. We thought the rushing game only stopped with Dominic Rezac and Kurt Cooper. We got the 3rd string in.
He hit it right away and was able to get that first down. And
currently up on Pilla Vista, 21-7 in favor of Gretna in that one. Millard South in a close game up against Omaha North. Sides pushed down. Will be a gain of about 6. Other things as well, we see Fremont Bellevue West. That will not happen tonight. It's 43-6 in favor of Bell West in the 4th quarter. Being interesting to see once we get down that switch.
Yeah.
We'll keep you guys updated in that game. The #1 team could lose to a team that's not even rated. It was number 88, Caden Osborne.
Caden Osborne with the carry, and it's enough for
Osborne, that's his first carry of his career here at Westside. Osborne transferred from Omaha Bryan. There's the ball a little bit there.
A lot of substitutions here at the end of the game. Some guys seeing their first action tonight.
A gain of 7 once again, and we're about 2 plays away from ending this one here at Phelps Field.
Maybe the starting quarterback the next time the Warriors take the field next week against Millard North. And I'll tell you what, it's been an impressive showing by the Rezac brothers again tonight. What they can do.
Talked about, really likes the wishbone, but defensively has really struggled this season. They got blown out by both of their against Omaha Bryan today. They'll play both Westside and Grand Island in the next 2 weeks. A lot of questions to be asked. I mean, can Reed do from there?
Well, this will be the last play of the game for the Warriors.
Run up the middle once again, Brody Gach, 31-9. Make sure you guys stay tuned for tonight's KB Postgame show. And we talked to the Rezac brothers here as our time 42. Winning streak continues, 17 in a row for the Warriors. They'll play Millard North next week at Mule Stadium. Look to continue this perfect ride. 496 total yards, 300 rushing yards on the night. A lot of that 4 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rushing, he's looking looking at 7 attempts for 78 yards tonight, 4 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 6.
Yeah, when I came into this game tonight, I was looking at the state statistics, and down in state in total rushing yardage, and another 141 in the last 2 weeks among the yardage rankings.
Rezac coming into the week for the Warriors, and it's a big win for Westside.
A little surprised how well they handled this Grand Island team, because they really handled them, and it was just Jaden, just one play that they had inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Riker the 5 most rushing wise, and that's really why he's been so dangerous this season. But really, only, like you said, really one play that really made the game for the Island.
They've really developed, they're improving every week, and they got the big yards. So impressive for a high school team to get that many yards.
Continued progress, and a big thing to see here is a get very interesting up against the #1 team in the brothers are doing it all for the Warriors. Westside wins 40.
We are back at Phelps Stadium. Warriors to victory. Jaden Taylor with our player of the game.
Our player of the game tonight, Anthony Rezac. You come into this kickover. How does it feel to really solidify your spot, maybe as a starting quarterback for this team?
It feels awesome, getting out there with my brother. I took my chance, and that's what happened.
So you talk about, you three, Teddy, Anthony, being able to find 6 touchdowns between you and Dominic. It's just a takeover of the Rezac.
Doing it with my brothers, we've dreamed about this since we were younger, coming to the post, so it was great getting out there and actually getting my.
Colby, as a passing quarterback, might not have. I really thought we might.
I felt awesome. My line was giving me a lot of time. Receivers were getting open.
Really going forward, you got a comparatively easy schedule here in district play. What is
fire spot? Bell West, Millard South, Gretna, all those other top teams.
What do you want this team to be a part of going forward? How can
us? You don't got to be anyone else. Don't got to be last.
Great opportunity here. The Rezac
with our player of the game, Anthony Rezac, 41. And Grand Island 9,
so go to
that was our player of the game victory.
Back here now with Dominic Rezac. The biggest thing tonight, I just continue to say your guys' last name with you, Anthony, and Teddy. How special is it to play with your younger brothers?
It's a lot of fun, and I think I had an interview with Westside Wire a few weeks ago, and I just told them, playing with them is a lot of fun. They're 3 of my best friends, and it's just awesome getting my senior year, getting to be out there with them.
So here tonight, I don't want to say you were completely slow in those first 3 games, but it definitely hasn't been what it's been these past 2 games, just output-wise. You had a couple really big touchdowns. What has been the spark in these last 2 games? Continually over 200 yards in these last 2 nights.
I just stepped it up, and then our O-line up front was really young to start the year, and they've really grown up a lot the last few games. So I'm just really proud of those big boys up front for getting it done for me.
So talk about that O-line as well. I think it's a piece that not a lot of people are talking about with this Westside team. Like you said, very young team. 2 sophomores to start off the year, a junior, and 2 seniors. You saw big guys like Will Hurtado and Cade Harbin last year. How have the guys up front really helped out this team and helped out you?
They've kind of grown into their positions. Jack James, 3-year starter, he's the leader down there. But you got Sam Nordquist, he's really good, 1st-year starter. Nico Yeager, and then a little bit of RJ and Jack Wing. The last few guys that I just mentioned, this is their first time playing big-time ball, on this level. So it really took them a few games to grow into it. But they're killing it now. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but they're really growing into it. So one of the easiest district schedules of any team throughout this season. What can you guys do to stay upbeat and stay level once you guys get into playoff time? We just got to realize we're playing against ourselves every week. We can't take any steps back. We got to keep moving forward and stay competitive and get ready for the playoffs. So. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Dominic. A big win here for the Warriors. They move on to 5-0 on this season, 17 straight here for the Warriors. Westside wins this one up against Grand Island. Next week, it'll be up against Millard North on the Aaron Hardy YouTube channel. We'll be back in 2 weeks for Westside up against Norfolk. My name is Jaden Taylor. Alongside tonight has been Jernstrom and the entire WTV Live crew. It's been a great night. Westside wins another one.
moment with a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.